When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
Well, what's going on, Bronco Nation? A big basketball game tonight, but we're going to switch gears and talk a little softball. Coach Justin Shults of the 9-1 Boise State softball team, kind enough to join us. Coach, hopefully the first of many appearances here on Bronco Nation News. How's it going, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going great. I appreciate you having us on during basketball season. I know our men's team's creating a lot of energy for Boise State right now.
Well, what you guys are doing deserves to be recognized as well. 9-1, the best start in school history. Not bad for your first 10 games as a head coach.
Yeah, it's been fun. I think we knew in the fall we had a special group here. As you start to play, you get a little uneasy leading into the season, not sure what it's going to look like playing other opponents, but we've really come out strong, and I feel like we've done a good job against the opponents we're supposed to.
What has it been like your first year as a head coach? You come over from Oregon after being an assistant there. You were at some other places as well, but to have your own program in the Mountain West and to be able to put a stamp on this thing, I'm sure it's been a learning experience for you. But it had to be a lot of fun too. What's it been like?
I think learning is the perfect word. I feel like every day there's a new challenge being a head coach. I've got great assistants who have helped me through a lot of the situations that we've had arise. But it's been fun to lead the team the way I kind of want to lead it, and we've been off to a great start, and I'm excited to see the next few weeks of really where we're at as a softball team.
As I said, 9-1, the best 10-game start in program history. What's been the key so far to the early success?
Yeah, our pitching's been our backbone. They've been absolutely lights out the first 10 games. Realistically, you look at the schedule, and we should probably be 10-0 when we lose a game 1-0. Ran into a pitcher who threw really, really well against us. But our pitching's been lights out. Our defense, no errors through 10 games, has been special as well. But our offense is doing their job, but I still think the offense has not hit their ceiling or even come close to that ceiling yet. So it's exciting.
Well, let's talk about the pitching first, Coach. As a team, only a .213 opponent's batting average, only giving up 2 home runs. I think it was 84 strikeouts in 67 innings or something. I know Taylor Caudle and Hannah Bailey have been the two kind of leading you there. Both have ERAs under 1. I know pitching and defense is the name of the game, but I know in softball in particular, if you get some dominant pitching, you got a chance to win almost every game, huh?
Yeah, Hannah and Taylor have been consistent, and I think that's what we've asked for them. We've challenged both of them in the month of January to really fine-tune some things, and both have responded greatly. Sarah Johnson's another one that you're going to see a lot coming up in the next couple of weeks. So I think we've got a really good staff, especially in a conference where we're going to need it playing 3-game series. I'm excited about what we've got as a staff.
I know on the offensive side, you brought in some transfers with the Flores sisters from Oklahoma and also Kelsey Hall from Fresno State. And I guess just in general first, your first experience with the transfer portal as a head coach, when you got here and you looked at the roster, I guess, did you see some spots you wanted that immediate addition? I know in softball, maybe fans don't realize this. You guys never had the wait out year, right? I mean, you could bring in players all along and they could play right away. And now we're seeing that in football and basketball. But what does that allow you to do? What did that allow you to do to get some, infuse some immediate, talent in some spots where maybe you thought you needed it?
Yeah, you look at the roster when you're interviewing for the job, and you see, it's a really solid roster. Maybe there's a few spots we can enhance a little bit. And then so when I went to the transfer portal, I went with familiar athletes. You look at the Flores sisters. I've known them for a while, playing at OU in the past. And then Kelsey Hall, I actually recruited to Fresno State 4 years ago. So kind of came full circle when she entered the portal. We had already built that relationship in the past, and it was easy to reconnect. And she had a really good weekend last weekend, coming off ACL tear last year, kind of eased into the season week 1, and week 2 got her opportunities and really ran with it.
Yeah, she's hitting 571, seven RBIs so far. But talk about the Flores sisters, and I guess in particular Alicia, what she's done. 514 batting average. I think one of 2 players that started every game for you so far, this season, and 771 slugging. She's been huge for you so far.
Yeah, she's just an absolute catalyst for us. I mean, she goes full throttle every single game. She gives you everything you got, and we kind of joke around as a staff. She's one you don't want to rein back too much. You just got to let her be who she is, and she's going to swing at some pitches, possibly out of the zone at times. But when you make a mistake, she's absolutely going to hammer it.
Justin Shults is our guest here on Bronco Nation News Live, head coach of the Boise State softball team, 9-1 record through 10 games, the best 10-game starters we said in program history. And you've been able to, with some of these lopsided scores, too, get a lot of players in the game and stuff. What's it been like? You got a lot of girls listed on the stat sheet here to be able to try to get as many players in early. I'm sure that helps with the buy-in at practice and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think whether the scores are lopsided or not, we got 25 athletes on our roster, and we're going to make a ton of substitutions. We look at matchups based off pitching. If is it up, is it down? We've got hitters who can match up to those. So if we see something early in a game, we're not scared to make a move quickly. And I think that's something that we've been consistent with the first 10 games. We're very deep lineup, and you see, I think we've got about 18 people with at-bats this year, and that's going to continue to go throughout the season.
I know after one of the previous games in the release that Craig Lawson sent out, you talked about how your team's learning to not just rely on the home run. You don't have the American League, 3-run homer style with the DH or whatever mentality. What is it about this offense, I guess, where you're liking that they're able to string together a couple hits or play a little small ball maybe?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we've challenged them early. I think they've been, I don't want to say weakest part of the team, but I have bigger expectations for them. And you look at the statistics and they're there, but I think we've still got room to grow. And we really challenge them. And I think the biggest challenge right now has been the strike zone awareness. Brought 4 of our leaders and solid hitters in. I think they were 20 strikeouts, no walks after 6 games. We challenged them, and the last 4 games, 8 walks, no strikeouts. So they're really accepting challenges and getting better every day.
How often are you able to get outside and practice right now?
Not as much as we'd like, that's for sure. So the fact that our defense is playing the way they are, I think we get to see dirt once a week, and that's in our practice at the facility that we're playing at. But it looks like it's getting better here in the next couple of weeks.
So are you guys just inside the football facility there, the indoor, or where are you guys able to practice?
Yeah, we practice on the blue a little bit, and then we practice in cabin most days. Try to get outside as much as you can just because it's the sun balls and can hit the ball a little higher with fly balls and get it more realistic dimension-wise. But we're making do, and our team's resilient, so they really haven't had any complaints.
I mean, you're kind of blowing it off as a non-factor, but I mean, what kind of challenge is that when you're playing teams from Southern California and Texas, or teams that get to practice outside every day? I mean, your games are played outside, and you're not getting a chance to kind of practice in the game conditions very often. What kind of challenge is that?
Yeah, our first practice, I'll be honest, Wednesday before Riverside a couple weeks ago, we looked like a little league team out there on a high school field practicing, balls getting by our outfielders, couldn't field a ground ball. So it was a little nerve-wracking. And once we got into games, we've just been preaching, make the routine plays, play catch, and the rest will take care of itself. And I think this team does an awesome job of protecting the ball when they get it, and not giving the other team additional outs.
Well, I appreciate Craig Lawson for sending over some notes and was talking to him about this. And he mentioned, I think the first 25 games are on the road this year for you guys. 5 weekends in a row, I believe, on the road to start the season. What kind of challenge is that? These girls have school and stuff too, and you're traveling and coming back for 3 days and going back on the road for another 3 or 4 days, and you're doing that for pretty consistently. You're unable, to, obviously, with the weather, to play home games, and you want to get a lot of tournament games in early in the year. But 25 straight road games, 5 straight weekends on the road. What kind of challenge is that?
Yeah, it definitely wears on you. I think as a coaching staff, we try to get creative early in the weeks. Obviously, they get their off day when they're back. We try to do a little bit of a lighter practice with a narrow focus day 2, and then we get back into our team practices. But it definitely starts to wear on you. We're pushing hard to get turf over at our field. That'll allow us to possibly start playing early March. And when we do that, it can really open up a lot of doors for us. I know our fan base hungry for games, and it's hard to really build that fan base when we're only getting about 14 to 16 home games a year.
What I know we've heard rumors about maybe doing something with a scoreboard over there too, or a video board type thing. What are the goals and hopes for you to kind of take? You mentioned the turf there. What's on your wish list that you're banging on Jeremiah Dickey's door every day asking for?
Yeah, I mean, our administration's been awesome. They've really been pushing the tempo on that side of things. And the two things we really talk a lot about are turf and an indoor hitting facility on site. I think from a recruiting standpoint, it allows our recruits to come in and see this as a big time place. Everything's right in house. We don't have to travel across the river. And then, the scoreboard would be an awesome addition. I know there's some talks about it possibly coming to us, and we would love to have a video board, especially with today's age. So much technology and everybody's so video and picture oriented. It's a great way for fans to stay engaged and see statistics as the game's going on.
Well, what did you see? I know you wanted to be a head coach, and obviously that was a big thing to you. But when you were interviewing with this job with Jeremiah and whoever else was in part of the committee and stuff, and what was appealing to you, I guess, about this job here at Boise State?
Yeah, I think the big three things that I noticed here were obviously when I wanted a head coaching job, I wanted to take a roster that was intact that we could possibly enhance a little bit and really run with. And so looking at the returners from last year's team, getting some fifth-year seniors and Sang and Lawler and Bailey was huge for us. That allowed us to kind of not really be rebuilding. It was just how do we enhance and go from the start, try to win a conference championship year one. 2 was Boise. I mean, it sells itself as I think it's one of the fastest growing cities in America right now. Whether you like it or not, I think a lot of people are moving here. And then our administration, talking with Jeremiah through the interview process, Cody, my sport admin, both awesome. And I think they really made me feel at home when I was going through that process.
And I assume nothing in the 7 months or whatever since you've been hired. I forget how long it's been, but whatever it's been, I assume nothing's changed your thoughts. I mean, you're off to a good start, and it seems like everything's going in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited. And like I said, just touching the tip of the iceberg, I'm excited to see this team hit full force.
The Santa Barbara tournament up next. Give us a little bit of preview of what's ahead for your squad in the next week or two here.
Yeah, I mean, we go into Santa Barbara. We play Idaho State game 1. We get them later in the season, so I think it's a great way to get some information playing them. And then we play Santa Barbara twice and Providence. Providence coming off a really good weekend, their opening weekend. They didn't play the first weekend, but they're 4-1 right now. And Santa Barbara is a team that's always scrappy, and they play tough. So it's another good test for us. And then we go to Arizona the following week, and that's when we get to see Arizona, Iowa State, Texas State, along with some others. But that'll be a really good test for us as well to kind of see, are we growing each week and getting better?
Well, I think it's 24 days. We're enjoying the countdown on social media. 24 days till that first home game, which ironically enough is against Fresno State in terms of the home opener there in mid-March. So, Coach, congratulations on the success, and we can make a deal. If you keep going 9-1 and 10-game stretches, we'll keep having you on here. Appreciate the time, and it's going to be fun when the weather warms up a little bit and we can get that outfield hill packed with fans and get Donald Larson Park rocking. It's going to be fun, man. Appreciate your time and best of luck moving forward this year.
Absolutely, I appreciate you having me on.
There he is, Justin Shults of the Boise State softball team off to their 9-1 start. And again, they'll be in action this weekend, broncosports.com. You can get all the information, and we'll do our best, Bronco Nation News, as well to keep that covered there. So thanks for watching Bronco Nation News Live. We'll be back live with the pregame show from Extra Mile Arena about 6:30 or so tonight before the big basketball game. Coach, thanks again. Thanks to folks for listening. Take care. Bronco Nation News, bronconationnews.com.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.